grind is out to see the song. We'll be making these tunes until the weed is gone. We sonic boom, keep the metaphor going. From the farm to the lab, but you already know it. Another season from the seed to the bong. It's a never-ending cycle, so we never stop growing. Check the style, y'all, I've never been a clone. Cali dad, I got a style on my own. I live in the forest, no shortage on trees. Got a jar in every drawer full of foliage. OG, cooling with my homies on a Saturday. Up in the studio, no matter what the forecast. Gotta let the angels out, don't listen to iconoclast. Put on the boombox, turn up the speakers blast. Flip the backyard.
Yo, what's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another video. On today, this is rawdetroit. Make sure you hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell and hit the word all so that you may be able to receive every notification that comes from the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do a deep dive on why the Detroit Lions are not successful and they're not where they're at still. And we're going on year 6. The reason why the Detroit Lions are not where they should be is because the run it back mentality that we've been having in Detroit. We keep bringing the same players back and they're not getting us anywhere. We're not making any progress. And we're not even moving the needle at all with these guys. Now, definitely we understand that Levi got hurt last year and he was out for the season, and Josh Paschal was dealing with things as well. So he was out for a whole entire year. Now we already know, and we got clarification that the Lions will be bringing them back because they did not get the opportunity to play. So they'll be able to fulfill their contract this season. Now, whether or not Brad Holmes are going to trade these two guys or decide to part ways with these two guys, we do not know. But the Lions could be a whole lot better if they would adjust this front line. I know that Aleem McNeil, he's coming off an injury, and Aleem was not the same player coming off his injury. But Aiden Hutchinson, definitely, man, shout out to Aiden coming back off that gruesome leg injury and going out and getting career sacks this year with over 14.5 sacks this season. So shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. And then shout out to Al-Qadim Muhammad, who pretty much came in after Marcus Davenport went out and ended up getting 11 sacks, pretty much earning himself a big payday. Now, whether or not the Detroit Lions are going to pay Al-Qadim Muhammad, we do not know. But what we do know is that this team has to get better. If the Lions want to win a Super Bowl, I've been saying this for a while, is that it's going to start with the defense. I know that people keep pondering on the offense and just talking about the offense all day long. I don't want to see another video or hear another video about the offense because the offense is elite already. Just because we got a new offensive coordinator, we still got the same players. We have an elite offense already. It's not the offense that is majority of the problem of the Detroit Lions problem. It is the defense. The defense can't stay healthy. We had all of these guys go down. We had both of our corners go down. Terrion Arnold, who was trying to make progress in his second year, he ended up going down. And then in his Rexstraw, before the season started, he ended up not being able to perform and going down. And then not only that, we had Kirby Joseph dealing with the knee issue. He ends up going down. And then you have Brian Branch towards the end of the season going down as well. It has to be the defense. We have an elite offense. We got J-Mo. We got St. Brown. We have David Montgomery. We have Sam Laporta went down this season. Nobody knew that was going to happen, but Sam Laporta did go down. And then you got Gibbs. You have an elite offense. And then you got Jared Goff at quarterback, who pretty much knows what he's doing out there and is a great game manager for the Detroit Lions. But at the same time, we are bringing these guys back, Levi and Josh Paschal. And what are we getting from these guys? That's my biggest thing. The past couple seasons, Levi started to get a little bit better. But it's like, what are you really going to get from these guys? We've been bringing these guys in for the last 3 to 4 years, and we're not getting any production out of these guys. But we're going to run it back with these guys again. Brad Holmes is going to run it back with these guys again. We need to get athletic up front. We need to get another dog on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Whether we bring Al-Qadim Muhammad back or not, we still got to be able to get somebody in free agency at the edge position. And we may have to, well, we're going to have to draw. We're going to have to draft an edge as well. So my biggest thing with the Lions is not so much their offense. It is their defense that's holding them back. The defense is holding this team back from being where it needs to be. You can't compete against because you can't stop anybody. That's the biggest thing with the Detroit Lions. We can put up points with anybody, but we can't stop anybody defensively. So we continue to bring back Levi, and we continue to bring back Josh Paschal, and we're getting nothing from these guys. And people think that, okay, these guys come back again this season. Okay, I could be wrong. They go out and produce this year. Then, okay, I guess, you go and sign them on a 2-year extension or something, and you give them another opportunity. But they got to go out there and ball. If these guys are coming back, I'm expecting production from these guys. If they're not going to go out there and produce, we don't need to have them out there. I would rather just deal with Tyleik Williams and Roy Lopez being out there. I would deal with those guys being out there and Aleem McNeil. If Levi and Josh Paschal can't give me anything, why am I going to continue to keep bringing these guys back? And I think that's where Brad Holmes has been going wrong is that he continues to bring back the same guys, Marcus Davenport, continue to giving him another chance and another opportunity, and he goes down. And we had already talked about Marcus Davenport being injury prone and possibility he's going to miss some time, and he did ended up missing time. And Al-Qadim Muhammad came in and really took over and dominated at that number 2 edge position. So my biggest thing going forward for the Detroit Lions is for Levi and Josh Paschal to be better in 2026. If these guys are going to be a part of the roster and if Brad Holmes is going to run it back with these guys again, then they better produce on the field, man. Because we could have other guys that we can get in free agency and we could put those guys on the defensive line. There's other guys that we can go and snatch up, maybe get these guys on a cheap deal and bring them in. Because these 2 guys are going to be playing on cheap deals. So why not go and get some other guys and kind of change it up a little bit? But we need to get athletic up front. That other edge has to be a guy that can win his one-on-one matchups, things of that nature. That's what we need in Detroit, man. I'm not worried about the offense of the Detroit Lions. We got a new offensive coordinator, but we got the talent. We got the players already on the roster. He just needs to come in and call the correct plays and give the right guys the opportunity with the ball in their hands. Whether it be David Montgomery, whether it be Jahmyr Gibbs, J-Mo, St. Brown, Tesla, or Sam Laporta, you got to make sure that these guys get the ball in their hands because those guys are playmakers. The offense is elite. The defense is what's holding Detroit back because these guys stay injured. That is the biggest holdup in Detroit. Nobody knew that Terrion Arnold was going to get hurt. Nobody knew that Anis Restraw was not going to play a full entire season. Nobody knew that Levi was not going to be there. He was going to be MIA for a full season. Nobody knew that Josh Paschal would not be there. Nobody knew this stuff. Nobody. So at the same time, these dudes got to get better defensively and they got to get faster. The Lions need their team speed to go up in 2026, especially when it comes to the defense. The defense has to be a little bit more athletic, and these guys have to have a little bit more team speed. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the safety positions because we know that Kerry Joseph is dealing with the lingering knee issue. And then we know that Brian Branch is coming off a torn ACL. So we don't know what the secondary is going to look like. We don't know if Amik Robinson is going to go over to the Jets. Anything is possible. So the Lions got to be ready. Brad Holmes has to be ready. But this run it back mentality that Brad Holmes has been doing for the past couple seasons, it just has not been working. If Levi and Josh Paschal can't produce, we need to get some guys on this roster that can produce. We need, because as you saw, within the last couple Super Bowls, Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl with defense. It wasn't the offense, it was the defense. And the Detroit Lions gotta get the defense better in 2026. And if you're gonna run it back with Levi, and if you're gonna run it back with Josh Paschal, then these guys gotta produce on the field. Because if they don't produce on the field, this is gonna be a slap in the face to Brad Holmes. You gotta have guys that can produce up front and get pressure up front. And the Lions need that. So we'll see what happens